All right. Welcome to the Upside Podcast, where we help you get unstuck in your life and business by elevating your thinking and provoking meaningful change from the inside out. I'm your host, Teresa Flood, and today we are going to talk about the fundamental element that makes all things work in our lives, whether it's communication, whether it is sales and marketing, whether it is our relationships, it's our communication, it's our parenting. Do you have any guesses as to what we're talking about? We're going to talk about trust. Trust is such a core foundation that we have to develop with the people that we serve, with the people that we lead, with the people that we're communicating with, people that we want to be in relationship with. And trust is something that is so challenging to build and so easy to lose. And it is one of those things that if we are not cognizant of constantly working on building and creating trust with the people around us, we'll often get stuck in an area and not even realize it's because we've potentially lost that trust. So I want to give you the trust triangle. So at its core, trust is built on three key components. And the first of that component is authenticity. Authenticity just says, I experience the real you. What I see is what I get. One of the pieces of authenticity that I think is so key and so important when we're developing trust is the consistency of our character. If we walk into somebody's office and maybe we're going to get mad Steve today, or maybe we're going to get happy Steve, or maybe we're going to get crazy Steve, and we don't know what we're going to experience when we encounter somebody, it's really going to affect that trust. But part of authenticity is a consistency in, I am going to get the same person every time I interact with you. People trust you because you're genuine. You're not performing, you're not pretending, you are who you are, and it's vulnerability in action. Authenticity doesn't mean laying everything negative out there on the table. I think sometimes we think of authenticity as, well, I'm just going to be authentically myself and I am who I am and I'm super offensive and super raw and super just awful, but I'm authentic. That's not really authentic. Authentic means I can trust you because you do what you say you're going to do and you are a genuine human being. I know I can count on you to be who you say that you're going to be. So an authentic person sounds like, I don't have all the answers. An authentic person sounds like somebody who owns their mistakes, who's willing to take accountability when something doesn't go well. Authentic people are the same in every room that they're in. Without authenticity, people are always going to feel guarded or they're going to feel manipulated. And if they feel either guarded or manipulated, they're not going to be able to enter into trust. So the second piece of the trust triangle, so we have authenticity on one side, then we have logic. And logic, you could also think about this as competence. Essentially, I believe you can do it and it makes sense. It's about clarity. It's about being a credible person. Are your decisions solid? Do your words align with truth? Do your actions match your plans? If you are working with a client or a customer, if they don't believe you know what you're doing and you are competent to be able to help solve the problem that they have, you are never going to have a foundation of trust. Does not matter how authentic you are. It doesn't matter how well liked you are. If they don't find you as a skilled and competent person able to solve that problem, you will always hit a roadblock. So one of the ways that we can build trust through logic is saying, here's how I arrived at that decision. So instead of just telling somebody why the answer is yes or why the answer is no or this is what we're going to do, explaining in a step-by-step manner, this is how I arrived at this decision. Because when people buy into those steps of logic, then they're going to begin to trust that the decision you came to makes sense for them. It also sounds like this plan is rooted in data. It has scientific backing behind it. It has market numbers behind it. This is why I think what I think. It's not just some hairy-fairy idea, right? But this is a logical, understandable step-by-step plan. Logic also sounds like I will follow through. Not only do I say this is our plan, but then I execute the next step. I execute the next step. We do the plan And every time we take another step of consistency, we're creating more trust with the people that we're leading. So without logic, people will doubt your thinking, even if your heart is in the right place. This is the hard part, is that you can have really great intentions, but if you're not a great communicator of how you're coming from point A to point B, you can really leave people behind. And then the third piece of the trust triangle is empathy. And empathy really is just, I believe that you care about me. I believe that you have my best intentions at heart. If somebody does not believe that you care about them or have their best intentions or their best will at heart, they are never going to fully trust you. Trust requires that people feel seen. Now, empathy does not mean that I agree with everything that you believe. It doesn't mean I agree that all your feelings are rooted in truth or in accuracy. It means I hear you, I see you, and I am understanding where you are coming from. I think this is one of the biggest things when you're trying to negotiate conflict or you have an upset customer that's calling and just railing on about something. Oftentimes we jump straight into logic to tell them why they're wrong and why they shouldn't feel like that. Well, actually, this is what happened, and that's not actually what you experienced, and this is why this was why. And all of that can be 100% correct and accurate. And yet, if we don't allow people to feel seen and to feel heard, we'll never establish trust through empathy. So empathy looks like listening deeply. It does sometimes mean taking an earful from somebody to allow them to be heard. It means asking real questions and coming from a place of seeking to understand. If we don't ask questions, it actually communicates to somebody that we don't care what they're talking about, or we don't care where they're coming from, or we don't care to understand what is motivating them or how they're feeling. So asking questions is one of the most powerful ways to let somebody know that you care. Being present is a way to communicate empathy, choosing compassion over correction. Sometimes it is better to be in relationship than to be right, because you're choosing to develop trust with somebody. So without empathy, people feel unseen, even if your strategy is perfect. So we have to have all three of these pieces of the trust triangle, whether, again, it's in a personal relationship, it's in a business relationship, it's within a team, it's in an organization, it's with a client. We must have authenticity. People need to know who they're going to get when they interact with you. They need to know that you have logic, that you're competent, that you do what you say you're going to do, that you have understanding of how to go from point A to point B. And then they need to understand that you care about them, that you have empathy for what they are seeing, feeling, and experiencing. So here's the problem. When any part of that trust triangle is weak, trust will break down. So if you have a relationship in your life where trust is broken, it maybe isn't broken in all three. It may just be broken in one area. So if you have authenticity with empathy, but you're not logical, people may like you, but they won't follow you. They like you because you're authentic and you are a super likable person, but they don't trust that you can get them to the place and they'll follow you. If you are logical and authentic, but not empathetic, people may respect you, but feel disconnected. They are not going to come to you with things. They're not going to open communication because it's not a safe place where they feel seen, heard, and understood. And then if you are empathetic and logical, but not authentic, people may believe in your plan, but not believe in you. When you're thinking about trust, it's about creating a safe place for people to thrive. If people don't feel safe in a relationship, let's say on a team, if a team doesn't feel safe with one another and have trust with one another, you'll never have healthy conflict. You'll never be able to throw ideas on the board and hash them out or have conflict around what is a better path or solution moving forward. If you don't have trust, you actually cannot build great team. So creating a safe place for your spouse, creating a safe place for your team, for the people that you lead, for your customers is what's going to allow the people to really flourish around you. So my challenge for you this week is to really look at your life and say, are there some areas where maybe trust has faltered? And you could also look and say, is there some clients that I'm not able to move forward with? Could this be a trust issue? Is there some challenges in leading my team or my organization? And could it be that you've lost trust with some of the people around you? And so ask yourself, where am I strong on the trust triangle and where do I need to grow? And then just choose one action that you could either strengthen your authenticity, strengthen your logic, and it could be the communication even of your logic, or strengthen your empathy. And remember, the more trust that you build, the more influence that you will earn. Thank you for listening and trusting the Upside podcast. And we believe every day that when you invest in your personal growth, it is going to yield you great returns. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please go to teresaflood.com and subscribe, and I will send you the training guide for this week and every other week that you can download and use these conversations and these frameworks to teach the people that you are leading, or you can use them just for your personal growth. But thank you so much for tuning in. So grateful to be on this journey with you. Keep living on the upside.